Master Go, a man of discerning tastes and profound insights, found himself both intrigued and impressively astounded by the unique abilities displayed by Han, a practitioner of the medical arts whose reputation for miraculous healings had begun to spread far and wide. It was with a sense of great anticipation and respect that Master Go acquiesced, quite uncharacteristically, to Han's request to lie down for an examination. His mind, usually a fortress of calculated decisions and precise judgments, was now firmly set on one singular objective: receiving treatment for his plum wound, a malady that had eluded the expertise of many other healers. As Master Go reclined, his thoughts wandered, reflecting on the tales he had heard of Han's extraordinary medical prowess. He watched with a mix of curiosity and a hint of skepticism as Han moved with swift and confident motions. Han's hands, skilled and steady, worked with a precision that belied the urgency of the situation. Within moments, Han had swiftly completed the urgent treatment, his every move exuding a confidence that was both calming and commanding. Turning to Master Go, Han conveyed in a tone both professional and reassuring that regular visits to the clinic would be essential, commencing from the following day. Master Go, nodding in agreement, tossed a bag of money toward Han, the coins inside clinking with a sound that echoed of wealth and power. Master Go, ever the strategist and observer of extraordinary events, clarified with a voice imbued with a mixture of admiration and pragmatism that the money he had so casually thrown was not for the medical expenses. Rather, it was a payment, a tribute, to witness something that he considered extraordinary and rare in his life of luxury and power: the remarkable stomach-cutting procedure that Han had performed, a procedure that had not just saved a child's life, but had defied the boundaries of traditional medicine. Meanwhile, General Gona, a man of war and wisdom, stood at a distance, his face etched with lines of relief at the successful outcome of the events. However, despite the positive turn of events, Han couldn't shake off a sense of unease that clung to him like an unwelcome shadow. Gona, sensing Han's discomfort, stepped forward, offering valuable insights into Master Go's background. He spoke of Master Go's lineage, emphasizing his status as a member of the most powerful family in a country recently fallen from grace. As Han listened, a realization dawned upon him, painting a picture of Master Go's position in society. A position akin to that of a corporate magnate, a status that far surpassed Colonel Cho's rank as a mere governor. With this new understanding, Han recognized the precariousness of the situation he had unwittingly walked into. Reluctance weighed on his decision, but the weight of responsibility and the oath he had taken as a healer guided his actions. With a sense of resolve, Han handed the bag of money to Obo, his trusted assistant. He instructed Obo to give it to Dang's father as a settlement payment, a gesture of goodwill and responsibility. At the concubine house, a place of hidden sorrows and veiled pleasures, the madam, a woman of experience and discernment, could hardly contain her astonishment. Before her eyes, she witnessed a transformation that defied explanation. Seol's facial condition, marred by the cruel hand of fate, was improving dramatically, day by day, under Han's care. The madam, her eyes reflecting a mix of wonder and skepticism, held a firm belief that Han possessed godlike healing abilities that seemed to transcend the boundaries of the natural world. Seol, her face gradually shedding the scars of her past, expressed with a fervent passion her desire to break free from the chains of her existence as a Kisaing, a life marked by servitude and entertainment for others. Her aspiration was to embrace a future where she could be the master of her own fate, a future where she could heal rather than entertain. The madam, her face a canvas of concern and contemplation, wondered aloud about the practicalities of such a dream. How would Seal, a woman of her background and current standing, earn a living outside the walls of her current life? In response to the madam's pragmatic concerns, Seol shared, with a voice tinged with hope and determination, her aspiration to walk the path of a healer, to become a doctor. It was a dream that seemed as distant as the stars, yet burned brightly in her heart. The madam, her eyebrows arching in a mix of surprise and skepticism, couldn't help but suspect that Seol's newfound ambition was influenced, perhaps even kindled by Han. She questioned Seol, her tone a blend of curiosity and caution, asking if Han had mentioned anything about taking her as an apprentice, about teaching her the art of healing. Understanding the undercurrents of the madam's concerns, Seol listened as the madam candidly shared the stark reality of their situation. The path of medicine, especially for a woman of Seol's background, was fraught with challenges and societal disapproval. The madam advised Seol, her words a blend of wisdom and realism, not to cling too closely to Han's ankle, to not base her future solely on the uncertain grounds of another's path. Instead, the madam suggested an alternative, a different path that Seol could consider. She spoke of an organization, one that the madam herself was a part of, an organization that could offer Seol a different kind of future, a future where she could still be close to Han, yet on her own terms. Before we continue, take a moment to answer the question of the day. Would you help others if you were reincarnated or take revenge? Comment down below for a chance to be shouted out. Now, back to the recap. Their conversation, a delicate dance of dreams and realities, was abruptly interrupted by Han's arrival. His entrance was a welcome surprise, a disruption that brought a different energy to the room. Han entered, his presence commanding yet comforting, his attention immediately drawn to Seol's condition. The madam, her surprise evident in her voice, expressed her curiosity at Han's early arrival. Han, his voice calm and measured, explained that his schedule had changed, necessitating an early visit to the concubine house. He mentioned his need to visit the Phantom Pavilion later, to treat Manhwa, another patient under his care. As Han prepared to begin Seol's treatment, his actions methodical and focused, Seol's emotions stirred within her. A flare of jealousy ignited in her heart, an irrational yet human reaction to the thought of Han applying his healing touch to another, especially to Manhwa. Her mind conjured images of Han's skilled hands working on Manhwa's back, images that stoked the flames of her jealousy. In a moment of vulnerability, Seol attempted to seduce Han, to draw his attention and affections solely to herself. However, her attempt was met not with the response she had hoped for, but with stern anger from Han. He reprimanded her, his words sharp yet not unkind, instructing her to behave with propriety and respect. Seol, chastened by his words, complied with his wishes, her actions disappointing the madam who had silently observed the exchange. Seol, her heart a tumult of emotions, desired more than anything to contribute to Han's well-being, to be a part of his world in any meaningful way. Yet, she was acutely aware of her current limitations, the barriers that her life and status imposed on her. With a resolve that was born of both desperation and determination, Seol made a decision. She resolved to take matters into her own hands, to consider joining the Ha-Oh sect, an organization that loomed large in the shadows of their society. It was a decision that could potentially aid Han in his endeavors, a decision that could change the course of her own life. As the intricate tapestry of the story continued to weave its narrative, an unexpected development emerged, adding a new layer of intrigue and complexity. In the midst of Han's day, filled with the usual ebb and flow of patients at his clinic, a new character, his second brother, appeared on the scene. This unexpected arrival sparked a surge of curiosity and concern. Second brother, his face etched with urgency and worry, sought Han's assistance in a matter of great importance and desperation. He explained that his master's granddaughter, a young woman of considerable standing, had found herself in the clutches of a debilitating illness, her condition deteriorating rapidly, rendering her immobile and in dire need of medical attention. With a tone laced with anxiety and urgency, second brother described the troubling symptoms afflicting the master's granddaughter. She was experiencing difficulty in breathing, a distressing sensation that was particularly pronounced after engaging in martial arts and strenuous breathing exercises. This revelation piqued Han's professional curiosity, his mind rapidly piecing together the possible causes. Based on the symptoms described, Han suspected a case of pneumothorax, a condition likely induced by the excessive strain placed on her lungs during her rigorous training. Without hesitation, Han agreed to lend his expertise and swiftly gathered his medical instruments, preparing for the task ahead. Upon their arrival at the master's house, a place that exuded both opulence and tradition, they were greeted with a warmth that contrasted starkly with the grave nature of their visit. The master, a figure of respect and authority, introduced his granddaughter Ban-hee, whose striking beauty immediately caught Han's attention. It was as if Han had inadvertently found himself entangled in a complex web of relationships and circumstances, a web that extended far beyond the confines of his clinic. The master led them into a room, a space that seemed to hold the weight of anticipation and concern. There, Ban-hee was struggling for breath, each inhalation a battle against an unseen adversary. Han's keen eyes quickly assessed the situation, recognizing the potential severity of her condition. Ban-hee's tall and slender physique, while aesthetically pleasing, made her more prone to the dangers of pneumothorax. Utilizing his makeshift stethoscope, a simple yet effective bamboo stick adapted for this era, Han listened intently to the sounds emanating from her right lung. He observed that her chest did not expand as it should upon exhaling, and the symptoms of chest pain and shortness of breath were unmistakable indicators of pneumothorax. Seeking to understand the full scope of her ailment, Han inquired about the duration of her illness. The response he received was alarming. It had been plaguing her for almost a year, a duration that spoke of both her resilience and the seriousness of her condition. Han's concern for her well-being deepened, and he made the decision to move her to a medical room, suspecting that she might also be suffering from cyanosis. This condition, marked by a bluish-purple tinge to the skin, was a result of inhaling significantly less oxygen. The gravity of the situation was becoming increasingly apparent. The master, his face a canvas of deep concern and fear for his granddaughter's well-being, inquired about her state. Han, with a tone both professional and empathetic, explained the dire nature of her condition. He detailed how her right lung was damaged and had collapsed, exerting pressure against her heart. The urgency of halting her key training was emphasized, as Han believed it was crucial to initiate treatment without any further delay. Responding to the urgency of the situation, the master, a man of action and decisiveness, expressed his profound hope for Han to provide the best possible care for his granddaughter. He promptly ordered a carriage to be prepared, intending to transport Manhwa to a medical room where she could receive the necessary treatment under Han's skilled care. However, as they were making these arrangements, a sudden and alarming development occurred. Manhwa, who until then had been enduring her discomfort with a quiet resilience, began to experience intense chest pain. This new development added a layer of urgency to an already critical situation. Han promptly examined her again and suspected she might be suffering from tension pneumothorax, a condition where the pressure in her lungs strains the heart. Recognizing the critical nature of the situation, Han decided to initiate treatment right there. He instructed Obo to prepare distilled liquor for the procedure. Manhwa removed her coat, revealing bandages on her chest, which explained the rapid deterioration of her condition. The master, deeply concerned, expressed his desire to witness Han's treatment firsthand. Unwilling to leave his granddaughter's side, Han agreed to his request. With a syringe needle in hand, Han asked Obo to observe closely. He skillfully inserted the needle between Manhwa's second and third ribs beneath the collarbone. They heard the sound of air escaping from the affected area, and Manhwa's breathing began to sound more normal, a positive sign. The master marveled at Han's remarkable medical skills, which were unlike anything he had ever witnessed. Meanwhile, Obo had anesthesia prepared, and Han prepared to make an incision with a flat iron. The master expressed his gratitude for taking Han's second brother as his disciple, which had allowed Han to treat his granddaughter. Han reassured the master that the following day, they would see clear liquid flowing instead of blood or pus, indicating progress. The master, though doubting his own abilities, hoped that Han would take good care of Manhwa. Han mentioned that he had a short-tempered patient, possibly a high-ranking official, scheduled for the next day. Understanding the situation, the master bid Han farewell. However, a sudden commotion erupted outside the room, prompting them to rush out. They found one of the master's disciples holding a suspicious man captive. To their surprise, the suspicious man turned out to be Han's bodyguard. Han's second brother expressed concern and questioned why Han had hired a bodyguard. Han disclosed the bandit situation to his second brother, who scolded him for not informing him earlier. The master suggested that having 2 guards was better than 1 and instructed his disciple, Yujin, to remain by Han's side temporarily. Yujin introduced himself as a senior to Han's second brother. Han was taken aback to realize that Yujin, based on historical knowledge, was a general known for bringing stability to distant lands. It was an unexpected but welcome development to have Yujin as his guard. Meanwhile, elsewhere, the elder Lord Yu found himself in a precarious situation, begging a masked woman named Hua Dong for forgiveness. Hua Dong chastised the elder for the failure of their mission and the sacrifice of more than 10 people to cover it up. Hua Dong had underestimated the elder, who was none other than Lord Yu himself. Hua Dong proposed giving up their plan and questioned Lord Yu's insistence on killing Han. Lord Yu explained his elaborate plan to ambush Master Go, making it appear as though a military officer had attacked him, thus sowing discord between the Go family and the military. Hua Dong, intrigued by the plan, inquired about its execution. Lord Yu revealed his intention to use Han as a key player in their scheme. The plot thickened as tensions and complexities continued to mount. The air was thick with anticipation and scheming as Lord Yu and Hua Dong, 2 figures enshrouded in their own machinations, sat together, meticulously discussing the final details of their impending plot. They were poised on the brink of executing a plan that had been carefully crafted and honed to perfection. They anticipated that their target, Master Go, would soon visit Han's clinic, a regular journey that had become routine for the ailing nobleman. This visit, they knew, would be accompanied by only a handful of guards, presenting them with an opportune moment to strike. Hua Dong, her eyes gleaming with a mix of determination and malice, agreed to the plan, and together they set the date for its execution, the following day. Lord Yu, his mind racing with thoughts of potential outcomes, received a reward from Hua Dong. her words laced with hope for a successful outcome and the fulfillment of their dark aspirations. On the day of the planned event, the world outside was blanketed in snow, a pristine white canvas that belied the treachery about to unfold. Han, in his clinic, waited patiently for Master Go's arrival. The nobleman was running late, his eagerness to see Han again and rid himself of his persistent ailment driving him forward despite the inclement weather. Master Go was grateful for the progress he had made under Han's care and was anxious to meet with him as soon as possible. However, fate had other plans. As Master Go's carriage traversed the snowy path, an unexpected danger loomed. Suddenly, an arrow, swift and silent, was launched towards the carriage, narrowly missing Master Go, but signaling the start of an unforeseen attack. The bodyguard, trained for moments like this, reacted with lightning speed, shielding Master Go and instructing the rider to seek safety. But before they could escape, another arrow struck, this time hitting the horse, causing the carriage to topple over and crash to the ground in a tumultuous upheaval. Amidst the chaos, the rider, though shaken, managed to escape unharmed and quickly rushed to rescue Master Go from the wreckage. Back at Han's clinic, both Han and General Gona began to grow increasingly worried about Master Go's whereabouts. The delay was uncharacteristic and concerning. Shortly after, their fears were confirmed when the rider arrived, breathless and distraught, bringing the injured Master Go with him. Han, upon seeing Master Go's condition, was shocked and knew that immediate medical attention was necessary. They quickly placed Master Go on a bed, and Han observed with a critical eye the significant bleeding from his head. Upon inquiring about the cause, Han learned of the harrowing ordeal. Master Go had rolled down a cliff after the carriage was attacked. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Han identified that Master Go's temporal artery, a crucial blood vessel responsible for carrying blood from the heart to the head, had been severely damaged. Reaching for the anesthesia to alleviate the impending pain of the treatment, Han's heart sank as he discovered that the bottle had been accidentally broken. With no other choice available, Han knew he had to proceed with the surgery without anesthesia. He and Obo began the surgery, their hands steady despite the urgency of the situation, while the rider watched over Master Go with a mixture of anxiety and hope. Han, his focus unwavering, instructed the rider to stay focused and assured him that Master Go would survive the ordeal. Despite the seriousness of the situation, Han couldn't help but feel a twinge of irritation towards Master Go. In his mind, Master Go's involvement in such reckless situations had inadvertently caused the loss of Han's last bottle of anesthesia. A part of Han believed that perhaps it was fitting for Master Go to experience the pain of the treatment, a consequence of his own actions. Meanwhile, Lord Yu expressed his apologies to Hua Dang for failing to assassinate Master Go. Hua Dang showed little concern for Master Go's survival, as long as they succeeded in framing the military officers for ambushing him. She eagerly anticipated the chaos and turmoil that would follow their plan. Following the successful surgery, Master Go woke up and expressed his anger about the incident. His agitation irritated Han, who decided to use acupuncture needles to make Master Go fall asleep again, concerned that an increase in his blood pressure could lead to burst blood vessels. Cheon Won, a physician from the Go family, arrived and thanked Han for his treatment of Master Go. Won was particularly impressed by Han's medical skills, including his ability to connect blood vessels and cure syphilis. The intricate and high-stakes plot continued to unfold, with various characters and their motives coming into play. The atmosphere in the room grew tense as Captain Pyong reported to Master Go that the individuals behind the assassination attempt were military officers from Colonel Cho's army. Captain Pyong presented evidence, including arrows, bows, and a military plaque to support his claim. Han found it highly suspicious that military officers would leave behind their weapons and military plaques, deeming such actions as foolish and insane. He suspected that someone was orchestrating the situation, manipulating events to their advantage. Han believed that the main problem was Master Go's failure to realize that someone was pulling the strings behind the scenes. In response, Master Go pointed at General Gona, recalling that Gona had mentioned being a military officer earlier. He demanded to see Gona's military plaque, and Gona complied, showing a military plaque identical to the others. Master Go asked for Gona's thoughts on the matter, and Gona explained that anyone could potentially forge a military plaque, making it difficult to conclude that the assassins were indeed military officers. Growing increasingly impatient and furious, Master Go ordered Captain Pyong to arrest General Gona. However, Yujin, Han's bodyguard, intervened and urged Master Go to calm down and not take out his frustration on innocent people. Intrigued by Yujin's incredible aura, Master Go inquired about Yujin's identity and Yu Jin introduced himself simply as Han's bodyguard. Master Go recognized the significance of Yu Jin's judicial sword, a prestigious and authoritative symbol given by the emperor to his meritorious servants. Possessing the sword granted its bearer considerable authority and protection, with the exception of treason. Master Go was about to say, "All hail," a traditional phrase of respect, but Yu Jin swiftly intervened, reminding him not to reveal his identity. Master Go composed himself and apologized for losing his composure. Han couldn't help but be surprised by Master Go's almost bowing gesture, which was a sign of great respect. He began to wonder about the true identity of Yu Jin's master, sensing that there was much more to the situation than met the eye. The intricate web of politics and intrigue continued to unravel as the story progressed. Han visited the concubine house once more and overheard that Seol was supposedly experiencing stomach pain. However, it turned out to be a ruse, as Seol had something important to discuss with Han. Han felt relieved that she wasn't actually in pain and wondered what was going on. Seol informed Han about a manor called Taiping Manor, located an hour away from the prefectural office of Hancheng. She discovered that the three men who had previously attacked Han had frequently visited that place. Han became suspicious about Taiping Manor, recalling its historical association with the Yellow Turban Army. He also remembered that the Hao Sect organization was known for having highly credible information. Han considered the information provided by Seol to be valuable, but he pondered whom he could share it with. The only person who came to mind was Lieutenant Cho. Han expressed gratitude to Seol and promised to treat her to a meal once this issue was resolved, which delighted Seol greatly. Back at the clinic, Master Go explained everything about Han to Physician 1, highlighting Han's ability to cure tetanus and enteric diseases. Physician 1 marveled at Han's extraordinary skills, recognizing that Han was not just a skilled individual, but far beyond that. Master Go was equally impressed by Han's ability to cure renowned incurable diseases. He had not expected to encounter such an incredible physician, and someone who possessed the judicial sword as Han's bodyguard. Master Go felt indebted to Han for saving his life twice and acknowledged his immense gratitude. The following day, Han treated another patient who appeared malnourished and underweight. The patient wondered what disease they had, but in reality, their condition was simply due to malnutrition. Han felt helpless because he couldn't provide them with money to buy food every time. Observing the situation, Master Go grew curious about Han's sigh of frustration. Han expressed his desire to purchase some grain, which made Master Go concerned about Han's own family, the Hua family, who were living in poor conditions. Master Go offered to provide the grain for free, but Han clarified that it wasn't for himself, but for the starving people in the village. Master Go understood and accepted it as a treatment fee for his own medical treatment. He ordered Physician 1 to arrange for warriors to deliver the grain. Han felt overwhelmed by the amount needed to feed all the villagers, but Master Go reassured him not to worry, assuring Han that he had the means to feed everyone. He encouraged Han to focus on finding a way to cure him faster. The dawn of the next day brought with it a significant event for the village. The villagers, a tapestry of faces marked by the toils of daily life, gathered around Han's clinic with a sense of anticipation and curiosity. News had spread that Master Go, in a surprising act of generosity, was providing grain to the villagers. This was an unexpected turn of events, one that sparked both gratitude and speculation among the villagers. Han and Yu Jin, standing amidst the bustling crowd, observed the scene with a sense of bewilderment. They exchanged glances, both puzzled by Master Go's sudden change in behavior. It was a transformation that seemed almost too drastic, leading them to half-jokingly wonder if people could indeed change so profoundly after suffering a blow to the head. This whimsical thought lingered in their minds as they watched the villagers receive the grain, a gesture that seemed to contradict everything they knew about Master Go. Inside the clinic, away from the hustle and bustle, Han and Master Go engaged in a more serious conversation. They discussed the recent incident, delving into the details and implications. Han shared his insights about the Taiping Manor, a place shrouded in mystery and whispers of danger. He advised Master Go to collaborate with Lieutenant Cho in investigating the matter further. Master Go, his expression a mix of contemplation and resolve, agreed to the suggestion. He mentioned that if the nest of assassins was indeed located within Taiping Manor, he would see to it that Han was rewarded for his role in uncovering the truth. Han, ever humble, declined the offer of a reward, but Master Go insisted, stating firmly that every action, no matter how noble, comes with a price. Before leaving to meet with Lieutenant Cho, Han, struck by a sudden inspiration, came up with a better idea and eagerly shared it with Master Go. Meanwhile, at Lieutenant Cho's prefectural office, a scene of tension and confusion was unfolding. Master Go arrived, his anger palpable, expressing his outrage over the recent assassination attempt. Lieutenant Cho, caught off guard by this confrontation, emerged to meet Master Go, his face etched with confusion and concern. Master Go, in a dramatic gesture, presented General Gona, whom he had captured, accusing him of involvement in the assassination attempt. The air was thick with accusation and suspicion, but the situation took an unexpected turn. A man from the crowd suddenly departed, catching the attention of Master Go's subordinate, who promptly reported this development. Master Go, his expression shifting, immediately ceased his scolding of Lieutenant Cho, a subtle hint at his awareness of Han's plan. Lieutenant Cho, quick to grasp the underlying message, invited Master Go inside the office for a cup of tea, a gesture that signaled a temporary truce and a mutual understanding. Back in Taiping Manor, the atmosphere was one of anticipation and strategy. A man hurriedly reported the day's events to Lord Yu and Hua Dong. Hua Dong, her face reflecting a mixture of satisfaction and cunning, was pleased with how the events were unfolding. She harbored hopes that the turmoil in Kiao country would eventually lead to its downfall, a downfall that she could use to her advantage. However, their schemes were soon disrupted. Lieutenant Cho, armed with the knowledge shared by Han and Master Go, arrived at Taiping Manor with a forceful presence. He broke down the door with authority and commanded his men to capture Lord Yu and Hua Dong, throwing their plans into disarray. In the midst of the chaos that enveloped Taiping Manor, Lord Yu and Hua Dong found themselves in a precarious and unexpected situation. Lieutenant Cho's sudden and forceful presence sent shockwaves of panic through them. With little time to react, they hastily gathered their most essential belongings in a frenzied attempt to escape. They made their way to the basement, where a hidden escape route was their only hope for eluding capture. But as they reached the door of the secret passage, a wave of despair washed over them. The key, the crucial element to their escape, was nowhere to be found. Desperation set in as they frantically searched for another way out, their minds racing with fear and urgency. In a desperate and drastic move, Hua Dong, ever the strategist, tore off her clothes in a bid to create a diversion. She ordered Lord Yu to tie her to a pole, a ploy designed to buy him more time and possibly mislead their pursuers. As Lord Yu complied, his hands shaking with a mix of haste and trepidation, he discovered something in her pocket. Seizing the opportunity, he stealthily stole the item, a last act of betrayal before making his escape. Returning to the door, Lord Yu allowed himself a moment of relief, free from Hua Dang's manipulative presence. With a twist of irony, he revealed that he had not actually lost the key. He opened the door and made his escape, leaving the chaos of Taiping Manor behind and hoping to never be entangled in such treacherous affairs again. Meanwhile, the military officers, following Lieutenant Cho's orders, captured everyone inside Taiping Manor. In a turn of events, they also rescued Hua Dong, who was still bound to the pole. In her final moments, Hua Dong, with a hint of pride and defiance, praised herself for her acting skills, believing she had outwitted her captors. However, her moment of triumph was abruptly cut short. An arrow, shot with deadly precision by Lord Yu from a hidden vantage point, pierced her heart, sealing her fate. Lord Yu, watching from a distance, felt a cold satisfaction in knowing he had eliminated a crucial piece of evidence and a potential threat. The following day, the atmosphere at Han's clinic was one of relief and normalcy. The tumultuous events that had shaken the village had finally come to a resolution. The villagers, no longer plagued by starvation, expressed their gratitude for the grain provided by Master Go. The issue with Taiping Manor had been resolved, and Master Go, his anger now subdued, seemed to have found a semblance of peace. Amidst this newfound calm, Han heard a sound that immediately caught his attention. It was the familiar voice of his second brother, a sound that always brought a mix of emotions. His brother, with a tone laden with urgency and concern, informed Han that their mother's condition had worsened, and her situation was critical. Han, feeling a rush of responsibility and familial duty, realized that the time had come for him to act. He instructed Obo to accompany him, and as he prepared his medical tools, he felt an unusual trembling in his hands. This reaction was not just physical, it was a manifestation of Huabu's body, sensing the critical condition of their mother. Han, in a moment of reassurance, comforted Huabu, affirming that their mother was also his mother. He vowed, with a resolve that was both personal and professional, to do everything within his power to save her. His actual spirit, a presence of calm and strength, patted Huabu's shoulder, a gesture of support and solidarity in the face of the daunting challenge ahead. In the Hua family's house, Physician Bong was treating Hua's mother. The first brother pleaded with Physician Bong to treat their mother, but Bong explained that he couldn't do anything for her. The first brother wondered if Physician Song could help, but Bong dismissed the idea and stated that only Han could cure her. The first brother was taken aback by Bong's statement. He sought confirmation from Bong about Han's ability to truly heal their mother. Bong affirmed that if Han couldn't cure her, then no one could. Just then, Han arrived with Obo and his second brother, ready to face the critical situation. Bong briefed Han on their mother's symptoms. She had been suffering from vomiting and had been put to sleep using acupuncture needles. Han understood her condition and realized that her disease had worsened. He found it strange that either her small intestine or large intestine had become swollen. Han hoped that his clairvoyance skill, which had been activated before, would work again. He clenched his fist tightly and prayed for it to happen. Slowly, Han felt his heart beating rapidly, and the clairvoyance skill awakened once more. He could see inside his mother's stomach and discovered that she had acute cholecystitis. Han relayed his mother's condition to his brothers, stating that he needed to perform surgery to open her stomach. He sought permission from his first brother to proceed. The first brother hesitated, but he recalled that their second brother trusted Han and physician Bong had faith in him as well. Eventually, the first brother agreed and hoped that Han would take care of their mother. Suddenly, their mother woke up and expressed her pride in Han, mentioning how he had saved many people and cured tetanus. She noticed Han's worried expression and reassured him, expressing comfort in the knowledge that he would be treating her. Han promised his mother that he would cure her. Han composed himself and focused his thoughts, reminding himself that this surgery was not difficult and that he had to succeed. Suddenly, an aura emitted from Han's body, gradually transferring to his mother. Han instructed Bong and Obo to begin the surgery. He first made an incision in his mother's stomach and used a soldering iron, asking Bong to assist in holding the cut skin and widening the opening. Bong marveled at Han's magnificence, realizing that he was witnessing something different from when Han had treated the soldiers. It was as if Han could see through the body, akin to looking at his own palm. Bong recognized that Han was a divine doctor himself. Han successfully removed the mesentery, exposed and ligated the cystic artery and cystic duct. He ordered Obo to wipe away the blood and prepare the next soldering iron. They had managed to stop the bleeding, and Han used the soldering iron again, applying it to the gallbladder. Han had successfully passed the most dangerous phase of the operation, and now he had to detach it. Han detached the gallstones from the gallbladder and discarded them. Han knew with certainty that he would be able to save his mother. Before we continue, let's take a moment to shout out at Just Aside, Thing 9722, who commented, "No comments?" on our Doombreaker video. Thanks for commenting. First and second brother anxiously waited outside the room, worrying about their mother and hoping that Han would be able to cure her. Suddenly, the door opened, and Han emerged from the room, removing his surgical mask. He informed both brothers that the surgery had been successful. Relief washed over them, and Han, feeling a sense of immense relief himself, fell unconscious. This surprised both brothers and Physician Bong. Physician Bong checked Han's pulse and reassured them that he was fine, explaining that Han had simply fallen asleep out of relief. Brothers felt relieved upon hearing this from Physician Bong. Han's spirit suddenly found itself in an empty realm, wondering where he was. Then, the spirit of Huabu approached him. Han wondered if this was Huabu's original spirit. Huabu bowed his head to Han, expressing his gratitude for saving their mother. Han realized that Huabu had worked hard all this time and patted his spirit on the shoulder. Suddenly, Huabu's spirit disappeared, signifying that Huabu's spirit could now rest, knowing that their mother was fine. Han woke up in his bed and wondered if what he had experienced was just a dream. He turned his head and saw that his mother was well, thanking God for it. First and second brother visited Han, expressing concern for his well-being. Han assured them that he and their mother were fine. The first brother apologized to Han for not trusting him all this time and thanked him for saving their mother. What will happen next? Find out next time by staying tuned for our future recaps. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more great recaps.